What's up, guys? I said that I'd make a video about my CFS, my chronic fatigue syndrome. So this is where I'm going to start. It's it's not an easy thing to explain. So I've written some notes down this time. So if you see me looking over here, I've got it on my laptop because it's just here. I'll show you. There you go. So because it's just something that it hit like a train sort of thing. We didn't expect it to happen, but this is just how it is, and hopefully, or not even hopefully, I'm already on the way to getting better. What I'll go through is kind of the basics of it all and that sort of thing. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy that has it, and a lot of other people do, and their symptoms might be different to mine and that sort of thing. I'm going to take you through what happens to me, and then we'll go from there. So, what is CFS? So, CFS, it's ME-CFS. So, what it is, it's myalgic encephalomyelitis, or chronic fatigue syndrome. They can both be called the same thing. So, what it is it causes extreme fatigue that can last for a long time. So, again, we'll go through it when I get to it, but my main sort of hit of it has been the past 15 months, but looking back and now that we understand what it is, this could have been going on for years, almost decade sort of thing. So we try to just move on and do what we can. But the biggest thing with it is that symptoms will get worse over time with physical or mental activity, and they don't improve with just sleeping. Pretty much it's like a phone battery. So most people have a phone that when you put it on charge, it'll charge up overnight. You'll get a full battery the next day. And you went to bed with maybe 10% on it. So with people with ME/CFS, think of that 10% maybe getting to 12%, maybe not even moving. You might even get more of a nervous system stress while sleeping. And it's just, there's no end to the cycle when you can't find your way through it. Luckily, I have a very large support group that I'm eternally grateful for, because it gets dark. So people say that, oh, it's just depression, oh, you just need to get out more, anything like that. Well, yeah, I would love to. And yeah, it is depression as well, because if you had to completely change your life and not do the things you love because your body is letting you down, there's no one in this world that wouldn't be depressed with that. It doesn't mean that depression is the issue, and it doesn't mean that you can't help that depression during either. There's a lot of facets to it, and because it's something that is just fatigue driven, you can get caught in circles. So nobody knows exactly what causes it, and there's no single test to confirm it either. So what they call is I'm just trying to remember what it was called, is a diagnosis of exclusion. That's what it's called. Pretty much, it's when every single test is normal, positive, like the way it should be, and nobody can actually explain why you're feeling this way. That's where they bring you to CFS. There's no cure as well. So there are ways to recover, but it's not a cure. There's still a chance. It's always going to be there. There's still a chance for a setback as well. But that's something that I'm not thinking about right now. I've just come through one, and it was a pretty big setback. So for the past month, 2 months, why I haven't been posting videos is because it hit me pretty hard. I've been very lucky to find a support group online called CFS Health that has helped me get to where I am right now. And I've been able to find an amazing psychologist that's been able to help me with the mental side to try and work me through stuff that it isn't even just because of the CFS. Like the amount of energy that your thoughts can take away from you and the mental exhaustion of just holding on to certain things can be a factor as well. And I've been lucky enough to be able to work through that. Also very lucky to have found a doctor that actually understands and wants to help. There's so many out there that just CFS isn't a thing to them, and it's a massive kick in the teeth when they've done all the tests. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to do more. And doing more worsens the problem. So it's just, like I said, you can get caught in a massive just circle of, honestly, crap. We all want to say a different word, but let's try and keep it a little bit PG here. So we'll see what we can do. So what happens is my symptoms, some people with CFS, so they can kind of go about their lives okay. They can still work, they can still do things, and they can work through the crashes after, but there's no getting better from that as such. Some people are housebound, they can't even leave their house. Some are bedbound, which that's how I was when I got the big hit of it. Not March just gone, March before. Like it was very, very rough. But luckily I found the right people and started doing the right things that long ago to get me to a point now where I can start working and improving it. It could get to a point that some people's nervous systems are so overloaded and their energy stores are so low that they can't move. They're in a wheelchair. Like, this is stuff that it's absolutely crazy, and especially thinking of how much your body can let you down sometimes. But what I'm going to do is go back through my sort of symptoms. So what happens with me? Sorry, I just hit the mic, so you probably didn't hear that. But what happens with my symptoms? So my symptoms add onto each other. I kind of call them down to 3 levels. So there's light, medium, and heavy. What happens is if I have my light symptoms, which is pretty much my daily, that this is just how I operate with these symptoms. When I start to have a little bit of a setback, it's the light and medium. When I have a crash, it's light, medium, and heavy all together. You don't kind of swap out one for the other. So my daily symptoms, same thing. I'm reading some off the computer because I wrote all this down just to try and help people understand like, this is just me, but there's so many other things because the nervous system can regulate so much of your body. It can just be horrible for some people. So my light symptoms, my daily symptoms are pretty much from physical and mental activity, the exhaustion. So where some people might be able to go for a 10-kilometer walk, man, I used to be able to just go for a 10-kilometer walk. I used to be able to run, not a long way, but I used to be able to run 4 or 5 kilometers. Now a 1.5 kilometer walk, I'm doing 1.7 kilometers at the moment, is my max for recovery, because if I push past that, it makes me worse than I was before. And we're going to come down to what my recovery looks like, but that's kind of what I mean by it. Brain fog and memory issues. It is the most extreme brain fog you ever have. And the memory issues that come along with it are just absolutely crazy. It can be to a point that I'm having a conversation with someone, and I know a lot of people have this, but it's just, you lose it. It's gone. Done. Finished. It can be to a point that I can't even remember my birthday sometimes. I can't remember my age. I don't know what day it is. So it's something that is just, I've gotten a bit better with it, and the memory and the brain fog is starting to lift, which is a massive weight off, but it's still going to take some time. Even doing these videos is a strain, but it's a strain that I think is worth it because I can recover and my energy to a point now that I want people to know what I'm going through. And it's for a selfish reason of it helps me to get it out. So the next ones I have is just unrefreshing sleep. So my sleep patterns can be erratic at best. I can go to sleep at 8:30 at night sort of thing, maybe 9 o'clock. Some nights I'll sleep through to 5. It's an amazing sleep, but it doesn't refresh you. It doesn't give you anything back. It's the exact same as most nights. What I'll do is I'll take ages to go to sleep, even through any sort of ways I've been trying to teach myself and what we've been working on with the psych to try and get to sleep. Or I'll wake up multiple times through the night and same thing, just won't be able to get back to sleep. And muscle and joint pain is another thing as well. But same thing, these are just my dailies. What happens is when I get to a little bit of a setback, I push myself a little bit hard, my bowel starts having a bit of an issue. Same thing, we're not going to go too far into it, keep it PG, but you can understand what I mean by bowel issues, hopefully. I get very bad tinnitus, and I get kind of dizziness, like vertigo almost. I had a massive bout of vertigo when this was first starting, and I don't want to say that this is exactly like vertigo because I understand what that is now, but it is terrible. Blurry vision and headaches are another one as well. And then once I'm in a crash or something like that, that headache turns to migraine, just the unrelenting pain in my always left temple. It's just how it happens. That just does not want to give up. And it's like somebody's just, I don't even know, putting a hot blade through the side of your head, and it's just always there. I get extremely sensitive to light and sound to a point that it's just pain with anything. Any light, any sound, it's painful, and then I get nauseous with it as well. And kind of this is kind of a between medium and heavy, but sore throat, and then I feel heavy, like having a heavy flu or a cold. Oh, heavy flu. I've had the flu as well. So yeah, it's not a cold. It's just crapness, to be honest. So they're my symptoms. There are a lot more of it, but they're kind of my day-to-day sort of things. And I haven't had a heavy crash like that in going on almost a month now, which I am super, super proud of, because I've had skin cancers cut off. That's what this little thing's showing here. I've had to go to have a couple of procedures to have a colonoscopy and gastroscopy just to get everything checked. And I am very surprised that all of that was last week and I haven't crashed yet. Doesn't mean I won't, because there is another thing called post-exertional malaise. So what happens is anywhere between kind of 12 and 72 hours after that exertion is when it might hit you. So even kind of trying to budget out and ration your energy doesn't exactly work sometimes, because how are you meant to know 72 hours after that something's going to hit? So it's a rough thing to kind of figure out. And even just rationing out your energy and planning your day around your energy consumption is exhausting. I know that coming from a background of depression and anxiety as well, like when you're trying to hide that away from people. So when you're trying to put on the happy face is probably the easiest way to say it. And I hope some of you understand what I mean. Well, I hope a lot of you never have to understand what I mean, but I'd be naive in thinking that people don't have it or have depression or anxiety. It's exhausting to put that happy face on, and it doesn't make anything better. It doesn't help. And I'm not saying that from you should try and just do it. You can't at the time. Like, it just doesn't help you. And honestly, during any of that, the scariest things to you are the things that will probably help, but you are in so much trauma and terror that you can't do those things. So it's a same thing, a rough cycle. They call it the secondary depression through a CFS side, but any anxiety, depression, and that sort of thing, that's what I've personally found. CFS aside and everything like that, through that I went and I had a magnetic therapy done that for me worked amazingly. It was transcranial magnetic stimulation. That's what it was called, TMS. And it was changed my life, because if I had that anxiety, depression now, this would be so much harder to try and recover from. How I'm trying to recover. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is that, okay, let's start at the basics. There's no cure for CFS. There's no tablet you can take. Most of the time, the biggest thing you can do is to try and get medication or anything to try and help mask the symptoms. That's it. So I've found a good mix of supplements that definitely help me through the day. From a PT background, I did have a little bit of knowledge throughout for those supplements and that sort of thing. That has helped. So they're just kind of your basics. Magnesium, creatine is actually very good to help with the brain fog and that sort of thing. But the main thing to recovery and what I've found is you can recover to a point that you can just live your life again. Now, I don't say that lightly, live your life again, because these symptoms and the stuff that I've been through for the past 15 months of the heavy stuff, it is absolutely debilitating. Like, I came to a realization a long time ago that I'm not getting back to my old life. I'm not going to be the person I was again. And for a while that scared me. But honestly, I'm kind of excited now that I am growing into this new person with learnings from however long to try and be better. Like, if I'm going to have to rebuild myself from the ground up, why not do it and try and be better? So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. Mainly what it is it's trying to build your capacity slowly, your energy capacity, and just your cardio capacity, your ability to move again from scratch. So I started by walking 200 meters. That was my basic start. Now I'm up to about 1.7 kilometers. And for some people, like I was saying at the start, that's not a long way. But for me, from not being able to move, like pretty much housebound at the time, that is my biggest aim is to be able to walk around the course again and play golf. Like, that's one of my biggest motivations. The real big motivation is to be able to just go out and do hiking with my wife again. Like, go out and be able to actually walk the dog properly, sort of thing. Like, we're planning to have a trip to Japan at some stage, which I'm extremely excited for. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's going to be a lot of walking. That's going to be a lot of movement. Like, it was worrisome before. Now I'm getting to a point that it's starting to be exciting, because I know that I'm going to be able to get there and be able to do it all, because Japan is one of my all-time bucket list locations. I can't wait to go. But the biggest thing to recover from what the support group I'm in and everything is consistency over intensity. So I would rather walk 500 meters for 2 weeks and then feel fine to be able to go to 600 meters, go from 6 to 700 meters, taking those slow, methodical steps instead of trying to go to the gym and lift 9,000 kilos in a session, sort of thing, which is what I used to do. Doing that now would ruin me and put me back to square one in this recovery. And that's not where I'm going to be. So, I will try and answer any questions that you have. Understand that, like I said at the start, I'm not a doctor. I have done basic research on all this sort of stuff and that sort of thing, but it's just, I will try and answer what I can, and if I can't, I'll try and point you towards the right resources and that sort of thing. But that is what chronic fatigue syndrome is. It is horrible, and it is one of the worst chronic illnesses that I've ever heard of, and a lot of people say the same thing. Now, the other big thing to it is that nobody can see it. If you have a broken arm, they can see the cast. If you're on crutches, they can see that you've got something wrong. This, nobody can see it. And that makes it hard. And for a long time when I was younger as well, with a lot of stuff happening, I was told that I was lying about a lot of stuff. And it's just not true. And it's the worst kick in the guts anyone can give. But look, I just wanted to put this out there and be a little bit vulnerable, a little bit open to everyone, to say that it's okay to talk about this stuff. It's okay to reach out if you need it. If you have anything wrong, anxiety, depression, you have a cold and you just feel like you want to talk to someone, like, reach out, find your support group. Like, one of the big things that's happened for me recently is understanding that my people are there, and my people are my people for a reason. I've known the same group of people for the past 20 years almost, and I was thinking that I was a burden to them, and I didn't want to put this on them. Everybody's got their own thing going, but it was a really good quote I saw, is that it's a disservice to your friends to not allow them to help you, because you would help them. And it resonated with me so much that a lot of people now know exactly what I'm going through. And honestly, it helped. It helped me. I'm a single person in this study, but look, it's just my kind of biggest thing at the end here is reach out. There's support groups, there's assistance lines. I live in the kind of Benalla area sort of thing, and I called the Albury trauma team, their mental health team. And if I hadn't have done that at the time, it would have been a very different life for me right now. And they were amazing. So if I can kind of leave on anything, it's okay. Like, I know it's a big thing and the people have the "Are you okay" days and all that, but it's so true that it's okay to be not okay. We need to let it out so much more than it's a lot better now, but we need to be able, as a society, in my eyes, just let it out. Men, women, children, like, some people might see me as weak for this sort of thing, and an older me may have as well, because men are meant to be strong, men are meant to provide. I'm working 1 day a week. My wife, who is absolutely the love of my life and the most amazing person I have ever met, and I think anyone would ever meet, has supported me so much that I'm able to do this and try and get better. But find your support and lean on your people. They're your people for a reason. And if you don't have people, then there's going to be someone out there that you can call. If you need to talk to anyone, there's always those lines. If you need to send it, it's just put a comment down that somebody will answer to. They will. Like, people are good, and I think we just need to let that happen a little bit more sometimes. Thank you very much for listening to my ramble. This is a 22-minute ramble, but that's the basics of what I'm going through and what CFS is, and I hope that this might, at some stage, help someone reach out that little bit as well. So, love you all. I really thank you for letting me get it out like this. Like, even if you don't want to watch it, I understand, but just getting it out is a help as it is. So, more videos to come. Got a couple of plans in the works, so we will see each other again soon. Got a couple of review things that I need to put up, and now that I'm feeling a bit better, it's going to happen. So, like I said, thank you very much. Love you all, and we'll talk again soon.